Good afternoon, dear televiewers. You are watching Reflect Afrique Television, and this is the Midday News. Here are the headlines for this midday edition. After traditional authorities fulfilled their civic duties in partaking in the first ever regional elections in Cameroon, some traditional authorities in the restive southwest region and the northwest region were during the weekend abducted and one killed in the person of Chief Emmanuel Ikome of Mile 14, Dibanda Boya southwest region, while those of Mile 15, 16 and that of Kejum Ketungu in the Tuba subdivision in the northwest region are still in captivity. Ate Francis Ngong, popularly known as Ate Bazo, has won the opponent Jean-Pierre Esome with a 254 against 185 votes in becoming the president of the Autos Right Company Sonacam. And hundreds of schoolgirls have gone missing in Nigeria's northwestern Katsina state after gunmen raided the government science secondary school in Kankara district. This is what we will be developing in this edition. Stay tuned for the details of these stories and more. Good afternoon once more and welcome to the midday edition of the English Newscast. We begin with the sad note of the death of Fon Emmanuel Ikome of the Mile 14 chiefdom in the southwest region after he was kidnapped yesterday by gunmen along two other Fons of Lower Bokova and Bolifamba. More details coming up next in this report. Barely a week after the holding of first ever regional elections in Cameroon, traditional authorities who took part in these elections are faced with insecurity, even though the government promised them security. On December 13, 2020, the funds of Mile 14, 15 and 16 in the restive southwest region were abducted by yet-to-be-identified gunmen, even though locals say they were taken by separatist fighters. Few hours after the abduction, the corpse of Fon Emmanuel Ikome of Mile 14 Dibanda Chiefdom was found in the bushes. It is 4:59 p.m. The atmosphere in the Dibanda, Bokova and Bolofamba neighborhood is tense. Locals say it is an abominable act for a Fon to be kidnapped, killed and his corpse abandoned in the bushes. Traditional authorities have been reduced to a subject of ridicule as their abduction and perpetual murder has become a daily job. On Saturday, December 12, 2020, His Royal Highness Fon Viof Nelson Shite, the Fon of Kejum Ketungu, popularly called Sumo Babanki, was kidnapped and his whereabouts still remains unknown. The kidnaps comes barely a month after the Fon Omso, Fon Sem Binglo, was kidnapped by men who identified themselves as separatist fighters. On November 6, 2020, the traditional ruler of Liwula Malale, His Majesty Molinga Francis Nango, was murdered by unidentified gunmen at his palace, and it is noted to be the second traditional ruler that has been murdered with the wake of the crisis in the English-speaking regions, the first being Chief Bandanje Williams of Lisoka Mulewe village. Many are questioning the role of traditional authorities in politics. Many are seeking to know if the killing will end the political upheavals. Many are asking where the respect of tradition and its authorities have gone to, but the question, however, remains unanswered. Ate Bazongong has been elected as the new president of the Autos Right Company Sonacam. He beat his rival Jean-Pierre Esome with a 254 votes against 185. Two other contestants for the top job, Messi Ambroise and they commonly called Wax Day, scored 85 and 69 respectively. After beating competition from Jean-Pierre Esome and Wax Day to head Sonacam, Ate Bazon now replaces Sam Fan Thomas with the following as his management. Prince Ndedi Eyango was elected as the chairman of the supervisory committee. Muaham Mate, popularly known as Dinali, is the current head of ethics, discipline and arbitration. The president of Identification, Admission and Classification Commission was handed to Louis Decoum, while DJ Bilik went home as president of the Program Control Commission. Online music and distribution. More of this will be brought to you in the 7 p.m. edition. And Algeria's President Abdelmadjid Tebboune said on Sunday that he was recovering from the COVID-19 illness. In his first televised appearance since he was hospitalized in Germany almost 2 months ago, the video was broadcasted on state television and published on Tebboune's Twitter feed. Teboin was hospitalized in Germany on October 28, 2020, and Algerian authorities later announced that he had the COVID-19 illness. His absence had sparked concerns of an institutional crisis weeks after voters approved a revised constitution on record a low turnout in a referendum widely seen as a maneuver to neutralize the long-running Iraq protest movement. Teboin has been unable to sign the revised constitution into law because he must be on Algerian soil to do so. He also has until December 31st to sign off on 2021 budget. But he said on Sunday he was following development in Algeria day by day, if not hour by hour. Visibly thinner and wearing a casual jacket, he sat on a desk next to an Algerian flag. Teboin won last year's boycotted December 12 presidential election following months of mass protests that had swept his predecessor, Bouteflika, from office. And hundreds of schoolgirls have gone missing in Nigeria's northwestern Katsina state after gunmen raided the government science secondary school in Kankara. And armed men on motorcycles, according to local media, raided the boarding school, which homes over 800 students. Details coming up next with Sandrine Dumbe.
Many days have passed and Nigeria still has no news of the schoolgirls kidnapped by armed men in Katsina. Hundreds of girls have been reported missing in Nigeria's northwestern Katsina state after gunmen raided the school last Friday. The government has said that the military had located the gunmen and are being pursued. Armed groups made up of many bandits have caused terror for several years in the rural zones at the center of northern Nigeria, practicing on a large scale theft of cattle and kidnappings for ransom. In August, armed men had abducted a teacher in the middle of a class with several pupils in neighboring Kaduna states. The hostages were then released, but the possible payment of a ransom was not revealed. President Muhammadu Buhari condemned the attack on Saturday, carried out by cowards and targeting innocent children, and promised to strengthen security in schools. This sad reminder of the attack on Chibok in the night of April 14, 2014, where 276 girls were abducted. Same scenario on February 19, 2018, in a college in Dapchi in Yobe State. To this day, around 100 of its daughters are still missing.
Cameroonian-born Issa Hayatou and former president of the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has been granted the status of honorary president of the institution. The decision suggested by CAF's executive committee, which met Thursday, December 10th via a video conferencing, was adopted during the organization's 42nd General Assembly Friday, December 11th. And according to the executive committee, this status is to acknowledge the great strides made by Issa Hayatou towards developing African football. This distinguished leader presided over by CAF for 30 years, from 1987 to 2017, and this honor salutes his immense role in the development of African football. After having been at the head of the African football governing body for over 30 years, the Cameroonian-born was beaten during the 2017 election by the institution's former boss, Ahmad, who has currently been suspended by FIFA over corruption charges. And the executive committee that met on Thursday equally noted with satisfaction Cameroon's readiness to host the upcoming African Cup of Nations Football Championship. That's the CHAN. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has published the calendar for CHAN football matches this 2021 season. For Group A, Cameroon will take on Zimbabwe on January 16, 2021, 5 p.m. at the Amadou Ahidjoum Stadium in Yaoundé. And ladies and gentlemen, this sport news just curtains to this midday edition. Le Journal de 13h comes up next. Stay connected to Reflect Afrique Television and have a good day.